Okay. Feel free to walk around and look at the artwork while we're waiting to start. Put a few around the room.
Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. It seems I'm so sorry. I had some troubles with connection. So, Clemence, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's the National Day of Internet Troubles. Can anybody say something? Can you hear me? Can you hear Clemence? Nice. Clemence,
Yeah.
are
Can
you
you hear
with
me,
us?
guys?
Okay.
You think there's an issue with the sound?
Clemence, if you can hear us, try to maybe reload the page and rejoin the space.
Okay. We'll be back.
And yeah, hi Rihanna, hi Avia Mommy. Nice to see you here. So before we are waiting for Clemence, I just wanted to quickly introduce what we are going to do today. And yeah, first of all, welcome everyone. My name is Elsa, and I'm really thrilled to be hosting today's artist talk here on Spatial. We have a very special guest, Clémence Powney, a talented artist known for her innovative work in virtual spaces. And today we are going to dive into her artistic journey, her perspective on the role of VR in art, and much more. Clemence, can you say something and we check if we can hear you? Your microphone
I was muted. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
No.
Is it working well? Can you hear me well? Oh no.
That's
You can't
strange.
hear me
It was
well.
working well.
Okay, let me just check. Maybe it's my VR headset. I will be back.
Mm. Yeah, that's really strange. I can't hear Olga as well, if you say so. Yeah, let's wait a little. Yeah, before you're waiting, I will just remind it again. You can see on the left and right parts of the hall, there are a few attachments with the videos and art of Clemence. Also, 3 more. Yeah, actually, there are a lot of them to explore. So while we are waiting and fixing these troubles, you can watch them. So yeah, let's see. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Oh, sorry. Now I can't hear. I just heard as well.
Can you hear me? Oh. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, cool. I'll just wait till she comes back and then we can start.
Okay. Oh, finally, we can. I think now we should.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, finally, good. Yeah, once again,
Okay.
welcome here, and we are going to. I'm going to host today artist talk here on Spatial, and here is Clemence. She's a talented VR artist known for her virtual spaces, and we are going to dive into her artistic journey, her background, her perspective on the role of VR in art, and much more. So let's get started. And I think Clemence prepared the presentation, and I think we are all wanting to listen to your story. So please, let's start.
Perfect. Just checking. Can you hear me well before I start? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so hi everyone. So my name is Clémence Powney, as Elsa said. I'm a VR event artist, and I prepared a little presentation to explain a bit what I do. So I thought I'd start with, oops, go. So this is me in real life. So I'm a French-British artist. I've been doing virtual reality for maybe 8 or 9 years now. And I do it for events, so brand activations, gala dinners, a lot of things with the corporate world. That's mainly what I do. And I thought I'd start with a little background about me. So this is me when I was little. So I grew up in Paris. My mom is French Caribbean and my dad is British. So this was a good mix because I think being multicultural really helped me to develop a lot of things. Art and music have always been my thing. I'm also a harpist. And I was also a singer and actress for 4 years when I was a teenager in a musical, which also helped me in my career later on. So next, there we go. So what happened to me was my studies and early career. So I studied in France. I had a French baccalaureate. And after that, I studied history and archaeology. And after that, I did graphic design. So this is what I had. I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design and illustration. And this has been very, very helpful for the rest of my career, obviously. And so when I entered the workforce, I started working for a family media company in London. So I created all types of family media like these two for families, for yeah, a lot of people in London. And that's what I did. And 3 years later, I moved to the south of France. And this is where I started my events career. So there we go. So that's where I started in the events industry. So in those days, virtual reality wasn't a thing yet. So I started with painting. Someone came to me and said, could you do a speed painting? So a painting in a few minutes. I was a good painter. I was used to being on stage because I was in a musical for my teenage years. So I said, why not? I gave it a try and it worked well. So that's what really started my career. And then in 2017, this is when I heard about virtual reality. So it had been around since 2016 and I'd heard about it. It was called Tilt Brush by Google. And it was an app that I've used to make all the artworks you see around you. It enables you to create art in 3D. And so the way I was introduced to this was through a fab lab. So it's a fabrication laboratory where people had the technology, because in those days VR headsets were still quite expensive. And I wanted to try it out. He said, yeah, you can try it. And it was one of the best artistic experiences in my life because it was something I never tried before. It was the possibilities seemed endless. And this is actually the post here I put on Instagram on that day with the comments underneath. So really it's something that for me was very transformative. And so I added it to my performances. So I did painting performances and now I started doing virtual reality. So I started, it was quite complicated in those days because you had to put some chapters, and it was really hard to start with, but it worked well. People were very interested. And yeah, it enabled me to go in many different countries. And also in the beginning, there was only 2 of us performers in France. So there weren't a lot of people around. And I even was on TV once. So that was a very proud moment. And then, so yeah, I think virtual reality can redefine the way people experience art, because it brings new dimensions to artistic expression. So this is something that I'm really passionate about. And then, so these are the prizes I got. So I'm very happy to have won the first prize and public's favorite Best VR Performance in 2021. So it was a global competition with virtual reality artists all over the world, and we all created a work of art at the same time. It was pretty amazing, and I won this, which was a very proud moment. And last year I also won the Best Digital Emerging Art Icons Award. So that was also a nice moment for me. So these are the things I do. So in virtual reality, in the performances, I do live VR performances. So this is a performance that will last between 30 minutes to 2 hours. You see some around the room a bit. There are some that I've done for different clients. This is one that I particularly enjoy. The second one is something that I really created, is the speed VR performances. So it's the same as a speed painting. I will do a performance in a few minutes with music. So it's like it's a real show. And this one works quite well. I've done product launches. I've done storytelling for events, for brands. And this one is one that I do a lot of. And finally, the last one is immersive environments. So I create environments as the ones you see around. Thank you for the love. And so people will come and put the headset on, and they can walk around in the environment. And sometimes I hide a few things so that people can see what's going on and find hidden treasures. So that's something that I like doing as well. I did it recently for Mini. You see over there one of them. And yeah, this is one it's more participative, so people can actually come and put the headset on, which I think is quite nice. So moving on, these are just a few of the people. Thank you. A few of the people I've worked for over the years. And then I thought I'd include a little thing on virtual reality art, because it's not something that's very developed or that people know about. So how can you create VR art? And there are so many apps. So first of all, obviously you need a VR headset. They're much more affordable nowadays than they were at the beginning in 2017. So there's the MetaQuest, there's HTC Vive, there's PlayStation VR. And then you've got so many apps which are absolutely amazing. So Tiltbrush, the one I showed you, Google stopped developing it in 2020, but it was open source. So now it's OpenBrush, which is really amazing. It's the same ones. If you like animation, you've got Quill. You've got also Medium. You've got King Spray Graffiti to paint like graffiti on the wall. If you like sculpting, you've got Masterpiece VR. And Vermilion at the bottom, which is all about painting, like real proper painting on an easel with a canvas. So if ever you have a virtual reality headset, I really encourage you to try these tools, because they're absolutely amazing. And so finally, my last question is, what's the future of VR art? Because there's lots of things going on nowadays. So I thought I'd put a little distinction at the top, because we've got virtual reality when we're completely inside an environment. We've got augmented reality where we can see real life and things are going on, augmenting it. And we've got mixed reality, which is the same as augmented reality, but we can actually interact. And these are things that are really developing these last few years. And I think that's really the way that things are going to move forward. So for example, we could imagine, because for the moment, my performances, I'll show you a video at the end. My performances are, I put the headset on, people will see what I'm creating through my eyes on a screen. So that's the limits of the technology for the moment. But we can imagine in the future people could have each have a headset on and see it actually being created, being in virtual reality with me, or seeing it on their phone. So that's things that I think are going to develop in the next 5 to 10 years, or even less. And yeah, I think that's really something that's going to develop more and more, and we'll see more of it around. So this is it from me. Thank you. These are my details if ever you want to go and have a look at what I do. So obviously I still do the painting as well. Thank you. And Elsa, if you can, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just show the video, so maybe the one just presenting everything I do and then the speed VR at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. And I think after watching this, we could also ask you a few questions. And could you remind me, please, which exactly video? Big screen, speed
Yeah, big
VR
screen, it
performance?
was the other one first, if you don't mind, and then speed VR. I
VR
can't remember the
artist.
name. Yeah, that's the one.
Big screen VR artist. Mm-hmm. Just a second. Yeah. Yeah. So now we can watch it.
Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's actually the what was the name of it?
Okay, strange. Just a moment.
It was Big Screen VR Clem 2023.
Uh-huh.
That's
This
the
one?
one. I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you
very
so
much. I think so. I personally have a few questions
Yeah, sure.
for myself about contemporary art, VR, AR, SR, and art world in Dubai. First of all, I wanted to ask you about VR, AR, and XR. How do you think they're transforming the way we experience art? And how do you define contemporary art in the context of digital technologies? What do you think of?
Interesting. I think mixed reality and augmented reality. I think personally, I think that's the way forward because virtual reality has been around for a while and it didn't really develop in the way that some might have thought of. So I think being able to augment art that exists really be the way forward, and that's going to transform completely the contemporary art world in the next few years.
Yeah. Hmm. Right. So, and personally for you, what maybe technical challenges or creative challenges do you face when you create your projects? Like, is there anything that could be better, could be improved in the future?
Yeah, I think definitely the thing to be improved is the way we see the art. So as you've seen on the video, people can only see my art in 2 dimensions unless they own a virtual reality headset. So I think that's, for me, definitely a challenge, because even to sell virtual reality performances, some people will say, well, we see it in 2D, whereas it's in 3D, and it's a shame. And to be honest, I agree, but it's, for the moment, we can't do any better. So
Yeah,
to me, that's definitely the limit that we have.
yeah. See. So, Olga is asking, what kind of software do you use for this amazing mixed reality effect? I think there was some kind of tilt brush, or how it's called.
Yeah, Google
You
Tilt Brush.
made
Yeah,
an example. Mhm.
yeah, exactly. So I create the art with Google Tilt Brush or Open Brush, one of the ones I showed. For the mixed
Mhm.
reality, I use Live, so L-I-V. It's a one that's where you can add yourself on a green screen inside the artwork. So yeah, Live is the one I use. But you do need to be equipped, because you need a good camera, you need a green screen. It's a bit more complicated, and also it's not something that you can do in a performance specifically, because you've got the green screen, which isn't very aesthetic.
Yeah. What about this beautiful
Yeah,
model? Have you made it with tilt brush as well?
this is my little foxy. I made it. It was for a project where each artist had to create a model. So this one I created with Tilt Brush. So as you can see, this is exactly how, when you're in virtual reality, you can see things in 3D this way, and you can walk around it and interact with it, which is quite nice. So yeah, this is one that I like, because I find it very cute, and it was just for this project
Yeah.
that I did.
Yeah, yeah, looks really picturesque. Like you've done it with oil and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because you've got lots of different tools in Tilt Brush, so you can have oil effects, you can have like, well, when you see in the artwork I do, there's, some effects that are in movement, some effects that are static, and it's really, really an amazing tool.
yeah, and yeah, that sounds impressive. And I want to say again that after our talk, you can just walk around and see other examples of the works and the process of Clement's art. So maybe somebody wants to ask something else. Feel free to turn on your microphone or use the chat option. And yeah, while we are waiting for other questions, I wanted to ask you about Dubai as well. Why you chose Dubai for living, and like, are there any perspectives in Dubai for digital art?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because before I lived here, so I lived in London, I lived in Paris, but just before this I lived in the south of France. And I came to Dubai because I already worked with a few event agencies here, and just the space here, the energy around technology is absolutely amazing, around the metaverse, around AI. So I really thought this was the place to be for virtual reality and for just digital art in globally, not just virtual reality art. So that was really what motivated me, because here, there's a lot of energy going around this, just exactly like this Meta talk, which is absolutely amazing. So I think this is the right place.
Yeah, yeah. So, and about cultural and traditional influences, I just wanted to ask you, how do you think, do they shape contemporary art in this region? How do they do it? And generally, we know that in our world we have some restrictions, and
Mm-hmm.
so what do you think about it, and how do you work with it? Have you ever faced any challenges?
Not me personally. I haven't. I don't really know. I don't think I've had any feelings of restrictions. So I wouldn't say to me that it's been really an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that could be a personal thing. Yeah, Olga
Yeah.
says we should collect all these 3D models from our speakers. Yeah, that's a good idea, I
Mhm.
think. And we have a
Yeah.
question from Rula, thank you for this amazing presentation. What are your thoughts about using AR to life rate your art without the use of AR glasses? It's an interesting
Could you repeat?
question.
Sorry, I didn't hear the. I didn't hear the.
Mhm.
Can you just repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts about using web AR to proliferate your art without the use of AR glasses?
So using AR, you mean VR without the use of VR glasses, or I'm not sure I understand the question. Sorry.
Web AR. I think so. Maybe could you explain what do you mean read the room? You mean using like laptop except glasses? You mean this like web version of I understand.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe VR you mean, not AR, because AR is augmented reality. That's a little bit
Yeah.
different. We can't use it like without
Yeah, I
glasses.
don't use AR for the moment because there is no software I mean, to my knowledge, because I'm in VR right now. I've got a Meta Quest, and it's not really developed yet. So it's a shame because I would like it, but we're still we have to stay in virtual reality. And I create everything with the maybe that's the question. I create everything in virtual reality. I never use a laptop. Everything is with the headset and creating around. So that's how I do it.
Yeah, Rita Rula explains WebAR allows you to have your mixed reality content on a website with mobile devices. So I think they mean just using other devices except glasses that help you to immerse into this, but
Yeah.
without seeing everything around you in 3D.
Yeah,
This is
I
the
know
question.
that. Yeah, I know that exists. I haven't personally used it, but I know some artists that use. I can't remember the name of it, but it's an app where you can add your art in like real life with your phone, which is pretty amazing. So the problem I have is that Tilt Brush doesn't. For example, my little foxy here is quite simple, so it exports well. But the environments I do are too big, so it doesn't export well as as an object. So that's why it's a bit difficult to place in augmented reality.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just wanted to say that you still can ask the question. You can use your microphone, or you can use the chat option, and feel free to ask anything when we still have Clemence here with us. And while we are waiting for other questions, I also wanted to ask you about collaborations. I remember the slide with the companies you worked for, and so just wanted to ask you what was the best collaboration for you? Maybe one artist, maybe the company that really excited you, and you could share it. That.
Yeah, to me, so the things I do for companies, they're not always, exciting artistically, if you know what I mean. It's more about promotion, about the branding. Some of them I've really enjoyed, but I would say to me the best I've done is when I was part of a community called VR Art Live, and with artists, VR artists all over the world. And there was this competition where that competition I talked about, which I won, where we all worked at the same time on the subject. We were all talking to each other, and it was absolutely amazing. I loved it because there were Koreans, there were Americans, there were people from all over the world. And there was such an energy that it's to me like the best experience I've ever had artistically. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's exciting when the artists collaborate and they can
Yeah,
create something that they couldn't create alone. Or
exactly.
yeah,
I
and
agree.
each connection is special.
Yeah.
So I think Cyrus wants to ask something. Am I right? Cyrus, are you here?
Yeah, I'm just checking
Yeah.
my mic first of all. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Okay. Great event, Clemence. Beautiful presentation, amazing stuff, amazing
Thank
work.
you.
Really inspiring, really inspiring. I just went in VR as well, just for a moment there. And just because you were touching on the point about how your work, um,
Mm,
sometimes it's difficult to get it across, I guess, on a 2D screen.
yeah.
So I went in VR
Yeah.
to experience it as well. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
the stuff you've done there. So my question, I suppose, would be around this aspect of you're talking about you do VR performances and stuff like that. What kind of I'm curious to know what kind of performances does it entail exactly, or what do you do? What is the performance exactly? Is it kind of acting or is it
Well,
singing?
actually, yeah. Well, if you want, if Elsa, if you don't mind showing the last video, which is exactly the video of a performance. So this is the speed VR performances that I do. This was just a demonstration, so it's a short 2-minute video, but this shows exactly how what a performance looks like and what people see.
Mhm.
So
Cool.
the way I usually do it is that there's a message to come across. For example, I did the promotion of a drug against lupus. So for lupus, for people who have lupus disease, so a skin disease, and the idea was that they wanted to show the way the drug works and how it affects the person's life. So I just went from frame to frame showing how it impacted the person's life. So it's kind of like a storytelling in a sense, with music and sometimes with the
Fantastic.
voice off as well. So yeah, that's usually how it works.
Sorry, what's the name of
Great.
that video?
It's so it's big screen, probably speed painting. Let me just check. Yeah,
Speed
speed VR
VR.
performance. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
the one. So this is typically what I do.